Radio 1 here in Houston. What's up, everybody? I'm Terry Thomas, Operations Manager for Radio 1 here in Houston, and I would like for you to welcome to Who Got Next, the Leaderboard. All right. So this is our platform, Who Got Next, where local artists have the opportunity, or independent artists really, have the opportunity to submit tracks and get feedback from curators. Well, who are the curators? People that love music. All right. People that just love music here in Houston. It's real easy for people to sign up. If you're somebody who really loves music, you have an opportunity to sign up and rate the tracks. In fact, we've got a contest going this month. Top curator for the month of December will win $100. And for the artist with the top song, which, how do you get to be the top song? Well, the curators vote your song is the best song of the month. So artists, you can submit a track and you will have an opportunity to win $2,500 in the month of December. So today we're going to be reviewing the leaderboard, the top tracks from the month of November. And at the end of today's show, we will announce the winner of $2,500. The artist that will have the top track of the month walks away with $2,500. You can use that however you want. You need studio time, you need marketing money, you need a photo shoot, however you want to use it. You need a piece of equipment. That $2,500 is for you to help you further your career. And then we'll also award $100 to the top curator of the month. So I want to introduce our guests. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce the only DJ that gives a jam from Magic 102.1 and 97.9 The Box. It is GT, man. Welcome.
Yes, indeed. I'm in the building, ready to get it popping. HOU, Who Got Next, sponsored by Remy Martin. I can use a case of 1738, but I'm ready. I'm here.
All right, awesome sauce. And then our very special guest back again. He was so great last month. We had to bring him back from Atlantic Records. I'd like to welcome LaRon Harris to the leaderboard.
Hey, it's so nice we had to do it twice.
Oh, yeah, we love it. So look, here's how it's going to run down, people. So the entire month of November, we had artists, independent artists that were able to submit individual tracks in the hope of getting feedback from music fans. Okay, these aren't people from the radio station. These are legit, just I love music and I'm so passionate about music, I want to rate the tracks. And so it works through our Facebook platform. You can also go to theboxhouston.com and click the link there and get more information how to do that. So the curators, which are the music fans, they rated the tracks and we had some tracks that come up to the top of the leaderboard. So today is where we take it all to the next level. We sit here from our perspective and give some feedback on the tracks and hopefully some feedback on the business that will help you further your career as an artist. And then at the end of today's session, we'll go ahead and award our winners $2,500 for the artist that had the top track of the month and $100 for the curator that just happens to be the curator of the month. So with that, we have teamed up for excellence today. And GT, let's go ahead and get us started with our first track.
All right, first track of the day is by 100 Strong Entertainment Cartel. That's 100 Strong Entertainment Cartel. The name of the song is called Gucci Furs and Louis Minks. Hey. 100 Strong shit. Get money. Hey. Gucci Furs and Louis Minks. Yeah. Hey, hey, pop this ecstasy, sip this drink. I buy first, you buy me mix. I'm getting money like the bank. I'm getting money on what you think. Get the bag, my niggas eating. Come fuck on me, why you teasing? Why you teasing? What's the meaning? Why you playing? Let me beat it. Getting money like the bank. Gucci Furs and Louis Minks. I'm getting money on what you think. Pop this ecstasy, sip this drink. Yeah, pop this ecstasy, sip this drink. Pop this ecstasy, sip this drink.
She pop the X, I pull the drink. Gucci Furs, Louis Minks, trap jumping like a bank, getting money on what you think. Yeah, that big for Maddie Street. These boys is lame to me, security bag, my team need VIP with the bitties. You niggas ain't on shit. The thuggers inside the jet. I'm popping, go action, bitch. 100 strong, bitch. Y'all rapping about the shit, I'm really living it. Y'all rapping about the shit, I'm really living it. A nigga disrespect us, fuck running, we grabbing weapons. Hit the well like that, we stepping, spinning, been in 60 seconds. Hold up, watch my MBs. For a nigga smoke like good weed. I don't want that bitch, she was on me. 100 strong, that clip, we too deep. Let's go.
Pop this ecstasy, sip this drink. I buy first, you buy me mix. I'm getting money like the bank. I'm getting money on what you think. Get the bag, my niggas eating. Come fuck on me, why you teasing? What's the reason? Why you playing? Let me beat it. Getting money like the bank.
All right, 100 Strong Cartel, Gucci Furs, and Louis Minx.
Louis Minx.
Ron, what do you think about, what would be some feedback on that?
Well, I'm still taking notes. It was a lot to take in, a lot to process there. Before I give any feedback, let me just say, the opinions that I express are solely my own opinions and don't reflect the company that I'm affiliated with. This is just my professional feedback. So I don't want any of my business partners to be connected to any of the feedback that I present.
Right.
I'll start with the pros of the record. I like the beat. I like the tempo of the record. I thought the record had good song structure. So they know how to put together a record. I hated the content. I don't know if that's like a measurement of how, the records are selected, but I just kind of feel like, this pop this X and sip this drink has kind of been overdone. That's my feedback on it. Like it's kind of been a overdone thing. And if you listen to radio, this subject is tired. There's so many other things to talk about, but the beat was good. The hook was catchy, even though I didn't necessarily care for the hook, it was catchy. The song structure was good. I think if they took all the mechanics of this record and put more time into actually writing about something, they will have something.
Got it. Okay, it's good feedback. What about you, GT?
I like the beat. I like the production. It reminded me of some of the Pop Smoke type production and Big Drip and all that good stuff, all the drill music. As far as the content, I feel to touch on what Ron was saying, I feel a lot of artists are scared to shy away from what's out there already in thinking that, it's not going to gravitate to people if we're not talking about what they used to. That's just my opinion. So I think they were just doing what they hear and they feel like they got to get in where they fit in.
It was like a mimic job,
Yeah. So I think that's valid on all sides, really. For me, as a person where people are always pitching songs to me, I look for something that's going to be unique, because there's a lot of sameness. Now, anytime you're talking about radio playlist is a finite number of songs. There's X amount of spots on any rotation. We like to say that playlist is a mathematical equation, right? So there's a science to radio. It's an art, but there's really a science to it. So there's a finite number of spots. And so when I think about the overall texture of the radio station, whether it's Fox or Magic or our pop station 92.1, I'm trying to figure out what's the best recipe for the overall sound of the brand. And too much sameness is not attractive to me, right? So I'm trying to craft a product that's got a little something that just gives an interesting and unique flavor. So for me, I agree with you, GT. I think there's an attitude of mimicking what's already out there because it's the safer way to go. It's kind of like, well, I see that's working for this person, so let me duplicate that in my best way, and maybe I'll have a chance of success. But I think to LaRon's point as well, there's a lot of good mechanics here. I would strongly encourage this crew, hey, stretch out on your lyrics, stretch out on your song content. You've got great mechanics, you got a catchy beat, and you just don't know where the path might lead if you could put a little more oomph in terms of the content piece to really make yourself memorable and stand out in a way that would be unique to everybody else. And that's where, you've got good structure, but that content, the right type of content, could definitely make you head and shoulders above the rest.
In addition to the mechanics and the song structure, he had a good voice. Like he had a voice that you want to listen to. I think he's just not using the instrument properly on that record.
And then also, I just want to say shout out. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube right now. So if you're checking out the show and you have some feedback on the tracks, definitely want to hear from you as well. If you like the track, drop the fire emojis. If you think the track needs some work, you could do a hammer. Just definitely weigh in as well, because what we really want to do and what we really want to have come from this whole thing is that the artist gets to walk away with some strong feedback that will help. There's no greater joy for us here in Houston, myself, GT, and the team at the Box, Magic, and Radio Now, than to see the next artist is going to blow from the city. So part of this whole purpose for Who Got Next, which is sponsored by Remy Martin, as we team up for excellence today, is to really do our part to educate the artists in our area and try to help them get to the next level. I would love to have so many artists on the national chart from Houston, and I think that we can get there. I think Houston has always been a music mecca. So, you know, the heart and soul is definitely here. So in the spirit of trying to help the artists, if you've got some feedback as a fan, definitely weigh in as well, because this is really invaluable information. All right, GT, let's go ahead and flip the track. What you got next?
One more, Terry. I got one more, Terry. I just thought about it when I looked at the title, Gucci. What is it? Gucci something and Louis. Gucci furs and Louis
it is Gucci furs and Louis minks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a business jewel. Like, that's advertisement for all aspiring artists. Like, stop giving these companies that don't need your advertisement free advertisement. Create your own brand, your own merch, and put that in your song title. Make that pop. Something that you can monetize on.
Everybody got a homeboy to clothesline. Support your man.
Yeah, support your man, or create your own and monetize that. But, you know, the chance of you getting a Gucci deal or a Louis deal at this level is slim to none. You know, use your resources to not only empower yourself, but empower the people that's within your circle.
I think that's a really great suggestion. As I see you wearing your original brand, Be Humble or Be Humble, cap. So I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And then also, I see that our good friend from Empire Records is in here today as well. He's just kind of viewing the cast, and shout out JD from Empire. And again, you know, you got some comments and some helpful information. Definitely drop it in the chat. We definitely want to hear from you. So, all right, GT, what you got for us next?
Moving right along, and I hope I don't butcher this name because it's different, but it's Life and Turi. The name of the song is called In Between It All. Life and Turi, In Between It All.
Between it all the beatings, hit and miss treatments. Why I even fight against the demons? Give me a reason. There's one thing I lost, not breathing, but always bleeding. I forgot to be me. Like they fell and I kept on swinging too long. It's been like telling chance goodbye. I have been practicing shine, saying fuck this life. I was a sacrifice, lined up for the fight. What a child life from a child's eyes. For a minute, torn apart mentally. Fucked you up physically. Never getting a chance to heal from all the previous injuries. Rude waiting lines up your enemies. Listen to what I say when I say life a century. Life is hard, making me unique and set apart with scars deeper in the walls. Fuck the petty shit, I'm talking about them life and death calls. Like your life's a drive, but ain't no time to pause. Running from the shots, rain on real life. Take off the do-rag and the hat, stockings and the cap. Now drop your pants, spread your ass and shake your sack. Like a person, there ain't no fabricating that. Walking through my past of how I had and why I'm at. Only if they knew the curse they birthed and how the terms turn to leave them burning. Orphan news, never alone with angels on a perch. Even when you think it's not seen, you can wash it down the same, but take out the beat trap. And I bet it's deep, and I bet it's in between it all the beatings. Hit and miss treatments, why I even fought against the demons. Give me a reason. There's one thing I lost, not breathing, but always bleeding. I forgot to be me.
All right, Life Potentiary is the name of it. Also, shout out Melody. She said that it reminds her of SPM. So I think that actually is a valid comment. I'm going to hold my comment. I'll go to GT first on this one.
Before I say anything, pronounce the name again.
Life Potentiary.
Life Potentiary. Okay, I butchered that all the way.
All right, so I got it from the song. So, you know, way to clarify in your music.
Well, and my first impulse of whoever stated a comment was the same thing. It reminds me of SPM, number one. But unlike SPM, they weren't riding the beat at all. Mm-hmm. And another thing, I'm big on you know, you do your lead vocal. When you come back and you're doing overdubs, they need to be just as crisp as your lead vocal. You can't be that was bothering me. Like, I'm hearing the lead vocal and then the backup vocals were like off kilt. That was bothering me a whole lot. And then overall, the track just wasn't moving me. I understand it's not a club track. I understand it's a story, but still, it's still got the music still got to be compelling to me personally.
And just want to thanks to everybody who's weighing in from YouTube and Facebook. Feel free to drop your emoji. If you think it's hot, drop a fire emoji. Needs work, drop the hammer. And if you think it's just trash, just find the trash can. Or if you have a comment, just add it. LaRon, what are your thoughts about life attention in between it all?
Don't rush yourself only to regret it due to impatience. You can't skip steps in the process. And, for all professionals or aspiring professionals, it's important that you study your craft, you study your competition, you study the greats. And if you're submitting, product to a major mainstream station, please give the people that's listening and considering your product the courtesy of going through the proper steps of mixing your product, getting your product mastered, in addition to making sure that it's good quality product. And in the artist's eyes, that may be quality product, but it's a competitive market. And if you're competing against the people that's at the top of the chart, I think, Moneybagg Yo #1 right now. You got Drake, you got all the other artists that, you're competing against the machine and they're not skipping steps. So if you're trying to get in the game, you can't afford to skip steps.
I think that's really valuable. For me, of course, you guys both touched on it, production, right? So we talked about the first artist that we played that had really good song structure, good mechanics. But maybe we would love to hear some more, different type of lyrics or telling a different story, one maybe that hasn't quite been told yet. In this case, I feel like Life Attention was trying to tell a story. So I felt that energy, but was so lost in the misproduction of it all that it was really hard for the point to come across. And remember, or maybe you do or you don't know this, some facts about radio listening is you got to hit them with the headline. I always say that to my talent, right? The listener, and my job is to put something on the radio that's going to get people to listen the longest. So the listener is going to decide immediately whether they're rocking with your track or not. And if it's something that's irritating to their ear because the production is not good, that's an automatic change the channel. And so I don't get to keep the brands in business when people are changing the channel. So the design, if your goal is radio, is to make something that's really a hit, that's going to sound pleasing to the ear. First off, even if I don't speak one word of English and I don't understand one lyric that you drop, if the overall sound of it is just not pleasing to the ear, it's going to make people change the channel. So those are invaluable steps with mixing and mastering and the production value of things. So totally agree with the guys here on this one. Just don't skip steps. That's where the real value comes in. Melody says, SPM before his orange vacation, old SPM. Yeah, I was feeling you, Melody. I think so. It was reminiscent to storytelling, vibe of it for sure. So, I think that's a compliment when people admire the people that came before musically and trying to imitate that. Nothing is original out there in the art space. The whole idea is to be inspired by another piece on somebody else's art, put your unique twist on it, and then you make something new. And so that's the game. All right. So who got next? The leaderboard today is sponsored by our good friends at Remy Martin as we team up for excellence. What do we have for track 3, GT?
Track number 3, we are going R&B, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We have TJ Boyce. The name of the song is called No Reason.
There's no reason to ever want another. You're my forever. You're all I need. You're the one I wanna lay with on a rainy day. I'm your moon, you're my earth, we're making tidal waves. When it's cold outside, you're the mother May. I swear that heaven is in your face, babe. I can share with you all my dreams and my fears. Wanna be the only one that gives you happy tears. Feels like we've known each other 100 years. And I forever hold you down, baby. There's no reason to ever want another. You're my forever. You're all I need. There's no reason to ever want another. You're my forever. You're all I need.
All right, TJ Boyce, No Reason. LaRon.
I'm trying to think of what record that put me in the mind of. I know you know GT. Jaheim. That's what I'm like. This sounds like somebody I work with at some point. Jaheim. Definitely a well put together record. It's definitely skewing older. You know, I want to say 30 plus. I don't even want to go down to 25. That's definitely a 30 plus record. I think it'll work in a ballroom club.
Yeah. GT.
I definitely heard it on Magic 102.
Yeah.
First, like LaRon, he couldn't. I heard Jaheim off the top. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't comparing him to Jaheim, but that's the vibe that it put me in. And then also, I can see the whole Chicago step movement. I can see them dancing to that record. You know, because they don't just do it the fast record; they do the slow records too. So I can see it going in with that movement.
Yeah, I was actually here looking on Instagram. Now, I have seen records have, since I've been in Houston, I've seen, you know, TJ Boyce out in the community trying to work his hustle. So TJ's been at this for a minute. Got some good comments coming in. Jonathan Cook, good song. I like it. Melody was in here. It's a pretty good song. Thomas, definitely 30 plus. You know, I think for real, all of it. I like the storytelling of it. I like that the lyrics kind of went somewhere.
And the verse was short. He had a short burst back to the hook, so that was smart too.
Yeah, you know, in radio, this has been a proven fact, right? Even for most people's favorite song right now, right? After 90 seconds, once they get to the favorite part, they're kind of on to the next. So I think that's really smart song structure for what's happening right now and just people's attention span. So I think that, you know, TJ definitely has some potential. You know, advice for TJ if he's going to pursue this record. LaRon, advice if he's trying to take it to the next level. What do you think?
You know, work the audience, you know, meet your audience or your desired audience where they are, you know, build those relationships with those DJs that are working those clubs if they still open, you know, during this environment, you know, work those clubs.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be working any clubs, but you know.
No doubt. And then I think too is like, you know, the online space is the great equalizer. So TJ, I don't know if you have a video for this, but, you know, definitely get a video up and out on YouTube, you know, submit your project to there's like 29 digital platforms that every artist should be submitting their music on. There's 29 of them. And so you have to put your single on every one of those platforms. Don't leave potential audience on the table. Put your record out there and let the fans determine whether it's going to take you to the next level. All right, you are watching Who Got Next, the Leaderboard, sponsored by Remy Martin as we team up for excellence. And we've got another track. GT, what you got?
Track number 4, Deja E featuring Wavy D. That's Deja E featuring Wavy D. It's called That Button.
It's that wave, boy. It's that wave, boy. It's that wave, boy. It's that wave. Do you really want to take things there? You're way over there. You should be sitting right here. Yeah. Looking like you want to taste this potion. Let me whisper something in your ooh, I see lust in your eyes. Smile on them guys. I know you're tired. I can see right through your mind, baby. What you want to do? I saw you with the outcome gone, babe. It's a midnight. You run away. I know you fall in love. I can make you hate, babe. I can be your baby. Can you handle when you slide on me? I can be your fantasy. As long as you don't push that button. Push the nigga will push that button. I can be your baby. I'm a little crazy. Can you handle when you slide on me? I can be your fantasy. As long as you don't push that button. Push the nigga will push that button.
GT man, Deja E featuring Wavy D, that button.
That button. It sounds like it's for now. It like the lyrics and everything reminds me of everything from Summer Walker to SZA to Janae Aiko, ladies talking they shit, which I ain't mad at because men been talking they shit for years. So ladies talking they shit now. The production is good. I like the production, and I like her voice. I like her voice. So
okay, LaRon.
To echo what GT just said, I love the production. I love the way she rolled the beat. I thought the hook was very catchy. I thought the content was very relatable to the times we living in for the demo that she's targeting, and I think she got something.
Okay, I'm going to give a little bit of a different opinion. I think there's potential, and when the voice came on at first, I was like, okay. It sounded to me vocally like she was holding back. And maybe I'm putting more potential on her than I'm all about potential. But I would have liked when a little pitchy. Melody's saying it right here. A little pitchy to me. And I think vocally holding back. And I felt like when it got to the hook, it just didn't punch me in the gut. I thought the content of it was fine. But when you get to that hook and you're saying, just don't push that button, I need to feel that. So I was waiting for it to like come full out, so I would say, vocally, I felt like maybe we were holding back a little bit, and I would very much I felt like I'm riding the beat. I thought that was cool, but I wanted to come and get me, make me feel it, because the thing that we're seeing and we're getting some feedback that it does sound like now, but that's the problem with now, right? So you've got Summer and you've got Janae and you've got all of these ladies that are amazing, but it's a lot of what's now. So out of what's now, what's really going to be next, right? So who got next? What's going to be next? So I would say if there's more potential vocally to really push through, I would re-record it and I would punch those vocals a lot harder, so that I could feel the passion behind, don't push that button. I got to feel it. So that's what I would say. I think there's potential, but I would really love for her not to hold back vocally and really push through on it. So, all right, y'all, if you're checking in, if you're on Facebook or if you're checking us out on YouTube, you're watching Who Got Next? The Leaderboard presented by Remy Martin as we team up for excellence. This is our platform where we allow independent artists to submit tracks for an opportunity to get feedback from music curators. So the music curators are just music fans. They just get in there. They love music so much and give you great organic feedback. And then today's episode is specifically for some of the top artists on the leaderboard to get some feedback from music industry professionals. And at the end of the show, we're going to announce our $2,500 winner for the top artist of the month. And then we'll also announce a $100 winner for our top curator. And we'll be doing the same contest in the month of December. So make sure you go to theboxhouston.com or check out the box on Facebook, and you'll get more information on how to submit for Who Got Next. GT, who do we have next?
Last but not least, we have OG Wavy. The name of the song is called Rape. OG Wavy, Rape.
Yeah. I remember dreaming of a better life. We went from Section 8, now the house got 8 sections. I told niggas what the vibes was, but nobody wanted to listen. They say money talk, bullshit walk. Now the whole team winning. Always making guap. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a star. Infatuated with the life and all the fancy cars. Lamborghini, Maserati, and them double R's. 7-tray Chevy engine supercharged. The dope boys in the city was the superstars. I put on for my city, I go super hard. I got dreams of living large and it's no facade. I got hitters in the squad that's gonna take the charge. Riding in the race, staring at the stars. Now riding in the race, staring at the stars. Riding in the race, staring at the stars. Now riding in the race, staring at the stars. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a star. Infatuated with the life and all them fancy cars. Just for the money, trying to ball, I got douche boss. Now riding in the race, staring at the stars. You thought I never get it, then you must be crazy. DBS is dirty dancing like they Patrick Swayze. Crack in my vein, I'm born in the 80s. Roasting Cuban links, AMG Mercedes. The women show me love while you niggas hate. Boy, I got it out the mud, now I finally made it. You can't tell me nothing about no dedication. A whole lot of patience, a lot of preparation. Gotta go and get the money with no hesitation. I know some rich niggas barely got an education. We had the most millionaires back in second your legislation. 2020 level up, this is separation. Riding in the race, staring at the stars. Riding in the race, staring at the stars. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a star. Infatuated with the life and all my fancy car. Just go to 100 trying to ball like I do Shabbat. Now I'm riding in the race, staring at the stars. Riding in the race, staring at the stars.
All right, Thomas is weighing in. Said this is catchy right here. Likes the beat. LaRon, what say you?
I agree with Thomas. I love the production. It was it was a very familiar sound to me. I could definitely tell that the artist was inspired by Meek Mill. And that's the thing about, recording or trying to recreate the energy of somebody that inspires you. If a person is familiar with whoever inspires you, they hear that person on the record. So, as I'm listening to the beat, I'm doing Meek Mill ad-libs in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I was waiting for it when the beat dropped. I'm looking for Meek to just go spaz on the record. It was a good record. I just think he got to find his own energy. He tapped into somebody else's energy source. And since I worked with the person that, he was inspired by, I couldn't hear him because I can only hear Meek's voice in my head when I listen to it.
That's a really, really valid point. Melody says Wraith or Wraith. It's Wraith, but yeah, I mean, you got to be careful when you say that one. GT.
It reminded me of, like, when I heard the record, I heard Fast and Furious 10, 11, wherever they're at now, but it sounded like a soundtrack record, and I like the lyrics, and that's what I got from it. I didn't hear like, oh, this is a single for the club, single for the radio. I heard soundtrack is what I heard,
Oh, one other thing that I failed to mention, for a new artist or a largely unknown artist, that intro was way too long before he got to, the actual meat of the record. So I would say kill that whole 15 to 20 seconds where he was, doing his Godfather pitch before the record actually started. Nobody cares if they don't know you.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually the first thing that I thought of, because when I'm hearing these records, I'm trying to hear it through the filter of, is this a record that I think could make it on the radio? And so the first thing is the intro is way too long. Now, what I will say, and especially with the artists here in the region, we generally have the opportunity to go back to the artists and be like, look, what we really need is like 12 seconds of instrumental on there, so GT can get on the radio and talk about, hey, this is the new joint from OG Wavy.
OG Wavy's car riding away. You heard it here first on the Real Sound of H-Time 97 on the box. Let's get it in.
Yeah, so that's really, really helpful. These sort of, long, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but sort of ego stroke intros, like they're not good for radio. I mean, if it's on an album cut and you just riding out an album, that's cool, because you're in your car having that experience with yourself. But, if the goal is to achieve radio airplay, those long intros, they don't really help you. Now, there could always be an exception to that, right? But for the most part, it's a general statement. Don't necessarily help you. So a couple comments. We got artists with content that's different than the norm don't get the votes. Well, let me speak on that, actually. I think, one, as an artist, you still have to sort of market and promote what you're involved with, so getting your folks involved. But this is a conversation that comes up frequently about content. I'm going to take a left and bring up like gospel rap, for example. So, a lot of times people talk in the gospel rap world like, oh, why isn't gospel rap cutting through, et cetera, et cetera. And, I think it's because the content is good, but the songs aren't hits, right? So I think the same here. You might have really good content in your song, but the aesthetic of the song still needs to be a hit record. And vice versa. You'll have a song that has hit potential, but the content isn't there. So I think it's really, the hit songs come from when there's a marriage of good content and hit potential, and that's how the songs get the votes. And then if you're an artist who's submitted in here, also doing your part and working your hustle and getting your fans engaged always helps, right? So that's really where everybody's career starts. It's engaging the people that are already rocking with you and see if they can bring more people to the party. And if you're really creating some art that resonates with people, some of those people will stick around and then they'll become your advocate. Radio is a reflection of what's hot. So as an artist, the minute you put a song out there in the universe, you're no longer a local artist, you're an international artist. There are 35,000 songs that drop every week. 35,000. So your song and you're wanting to get, whatever your slice of the pie is possible, but it's competitive. So, just you got to really, really engage with your fans. And if those fans really love you, if they're not followers and they're real fans, they become your voice. They become your advocate. They repost your tracks. They tell everybody to check you out. They buy your merch. They do all of that. They become your advocate. So it really, to me, always starts with the fans. And I'll say this, even with LaRon sitting here, LaRon knows every song we play, I don't love. But if it's the song that the fans want, I'm here to craft the product that's going to get the audience that I'm supposed to get for the radio station for the purpose of generating revenue. So ratings to generate revenue, that's the radio game. So, just really, really, really want to encourage artists to cultivate your fan base. All right, so we have a contest this month.
Can I add to that? Because
Please.
This is like the second or third time that comment has come up. In an inversion of words, not exactly how it was stated, but for the young artist community or the artist community in general, and even for the consumer community, we have to change the narrative that people don't want a different conversation in their music. If the consumer behavior changed and the consumer behavior dictated that this is something that is palatable to the listening audience, maybe artists will be more inclined to make that music. But for the artist that's using that as a cop-out to Xerox, what's at the top of the charts, you have a J. Cole that has a cult following. You have a Kendrick Lamar that has a cult following. You have a Drake that has a cult following. You got a Big Sean that got a cult following. There are artists, there are outliers that exist that have great content, great conversation, but what they all have in common? They have a great product. So we have to stop using this excuse that people don't want a good story or a good narrative because people won't vote for it or they won't stream it or they won't download it. People will download things that they connect to. If it's a great product, people will buy it. So for the artist community, please stop being lazy. No one cares about your excuses. Come up with a good product. And if you got a good product and you're being your authentic self and you're being honest, it's going to connect with the audience that is assigned to you. You may not have a 5 million following, or 1 million following, but whatever is already assigned to you, you will connect with them. So just focus on the product. Good product sells itself. You don't need an excuse when you got a good product.
To touch on what you're saying, or what you just said, actually, we have it here locally with Toby, great lyrics, hip hop, abstract, whatever you want to say. Great subject matter. Just dropped a song with Black Thought and Royce 5'9", and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you definitely can't use it as an excuse. If that's your lane, whatever your lane is, you got to be at the top of your lane. You got to be the fastest in your lane. Whatever your lane is.
It's a competitive sport.
Yeah. And I'm going to put the cherry on top. We have an entire station, Magic 102.1, where I would say 90% of what we play is what we call library music, tried and true. You hear that Frankie Beverly back in stride. It don't matter whether you're 5 or 105. That song makes you feel a particular kind of way. So a hit record is a hit record. And so, make the best art that you can make something that you emotionally connect to, that feels real to you. It could be a party song. It could be more something substantive. It could be a love song. It could be a I'm sad and heartbroken song, whatever. But, there's an entire radio station in our cluster where 90% of the records are not new records, but people love it's one of the top stations in the marketplace. People love the music there, and they will listen to that music over and over again because it makes them feel something here, always. So with that, though, I think it's about that time, right? So it's about time to announce our 2 winners for the month. Really want to thank our sponsor, Remy Martin, as we team up for excellence today. So I think the first things first is that we will announce the curator of the month with a $100 prize. And this is for the person that curated, just really got in there and gave a lot of feedback. So congratulations going out to Husky Hoodlum as the curator of the month. You're getting $100. compliments of our sponsor, Remy Martin, as we team up for excellence. And then, drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. The winner of $2,500, and we hope that you use it to further your career, whether it's new equipment, studio time, or whatever, is Gucci Furs and Louis Minks. Okay, so that is the Hundred Strong Cartel, Gucci Furs and Louis Minks. We're going to give you $2,500 from our sponsor, Remy Martin, as we team up for excellence, and we hope that you'll use that to take your career to the next level, whatever that may be for you. So if you're interested in getting out, log on theboxhouston.com, look for Who Got Next, and it has all the information on how you can get down and get involved next month, and maybe walk away a $2,500 winner yourself. So I want to thank you, LeRon, for the time.
Hey, thank you for having me. Yeah, for the winner, don't go blow your $2,500 on Gucci Furs and Louis flip flops.
Please do not do that. Make that money work for you. And then, of course, we get the only DJ that gives the jam. He's getting ready to get in the mix on 97.9 The Box. DJ GT, Mike.
Yes, indeed. It's always a pleasure. I love, like you said earlier in the conversation, I love seeing artists, independent artists, especially local artists, ascend, because, like, you know, it's a beautiful thing when I'm traveling out of town and I'm DJing out of town and I get to play, you know, a OG Chase record or a Toby record or a DJ Cho, whatever the case, and everybody's vibing. I'm like, yeah, we did this. It started organically at home. So
yeah, we love that. So we'll be back next month with the leaderboard. You Got Next. I just want to thank everybody for weighing in. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. And we will certainly catch you on the flip side. And thanks again to our sponsor, Remy Martin, as we team up for excellence. Thanks so much for checking out the leaderboard today with You Got Next.
Sweet.